Hello, and welcome to another episode of Matt and Lindsey. I'm not very creative with titles, and that's we settled on the first thing. So, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Matt, and that's Lindsey.
Hello.
Hello. Today we're talking about Primer. I think the structure for the show is we're going to both bring a
Primer
movie.
and the fall.
Right. Sorry, I was going to say the structure for the show is we're both going to bring a movie. I brought Primer, and Lindsey brought the fall, which is why she was.
Are we like battling? Because I think
I don't think so. Do you want to battle? What? How would we battle?
No, I'm just kidding. But mine wins. So
nope. Okay. No, but I want to. I actually did learn some really interesting stuff about your movie. But before we do that, before we get started,
yours too.
If you guys, that's
I didn't
awesome.
memorize them though.
Rad.
Okay, go.
Well, if you guys wouldn't mind liking the video, if you enjoy our content, if you think we're fun and interesting, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Up to 15 subscribers, so we are topping the charts. Ooh.
That's you though.
That's me? What does that sound? Do you hear that?
Which one?
I don't know. There's some horrible feedback sound.
Still?
Yeah. Is that from you?
I don't hear anything. It must be. I don't hear anything though.
God, I hope that's not going out over the air. Oof. Well,
is it still happening?
No, it stopped, but there was just some like terrible feedback sound.
That might have been my niece screaming. I don't know. That's all I heard.
No. Anyway.
Okay. We're good.
Yeah. Subscribe to the channel if you guys like the content, comment, share the video, the whole thing. Because we both really appreciate it. So thank you very much for supporting, and
we'll work on the technical difficulties. Sorry.
We're getting better.
A little bit. I'm getting better.
Yeah. Your mic sounds great. I look better, and my visual to audio sync is off, which is making me murderously angry. But
okay, let's skip past that.
We'll move past it. Past it. So, all right. Considering I've already seen The Fall, and I've seen it with you. Maybe I'm very curious to hear what you thought about Primer.
Funny thing is I honestly like cheated and I like read the.
What?
I started the movie and I was instantly confused, and so I was like.
So you cheated instead of sticking with it?
I just had to read like the general idea of it. I didn't even know it was about time travel when I started the movie.
Why would you?
It helped. And then I was like,
You're
oh, okay.
Supposed to be confused.
I still was. Does that make you feel better?
No.
It's kind of confusing.
It is a very confusing movie. That's true.
What I like, I guess it's just like the aspects of them making it, like the guy, the director, already forgot his name. Sorry. But whatever. There you go. What's the words? He didn't dumb it down, you know? No. And he has some sort of degree. What is it?
It's a software engineer, I think.
There you go. He's something, and he'd never actually directed or like done screenwriting or anything like that.
He learned it all for that one movie.
Yeah,
it's been brilliant.
So that was pretty cool.
You probably watched the same interview as I did. I would think.
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe
I
not.
Read a bunch of stuff about it, and I like watched one literally like 7
so wait,
minute
before we get
video.
into like I just want your general impressions of the movie. So like you cheated, and then it's like watching The Sixth Sense and knowing that Bruce Willis is dead the whole time. But okay,
not really.
Kind of.
It was still confusing because you're still trying to figure out like, wait, I think.
So just impressions of the film. What did you think? How did you like? What did you like it? Did you not like it?
It was like very, like you really had to follow it, and I don't know. It was definitely like interesting, but it didn't like grip me. I guess that's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's fair.
Even knowing, like, I know maybe like cheating, people are like, oh, well, you knew the plot already. I'm like, but it's still like that was making me try to like understand it more, like trying to follow. And I was like, I'm not really, didn't quite follow it. Well, obviously, like the technical parts of it, I didn't totally follow because that was like real
But
confusing.
I mean, that's what I liked about that movie so much is that when you get into it, you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, they don't slow down at all, which you can tell though, if you have like good instincts for like storytelling, like you can tell that they're doing it knowing you couldn't possibly be keeping up with what they're saying because they overlap so much of the dialogue. So there's no way to actually hear it clearly. So you have to, if you're trusting the filmmaker, you have to understand that's a choice, right? And there's like, you're not really supposed to understand every single word that's being said. You're supposed to just get an impression of what's going on, which I thought they did brilliantly. You know, engineers just working out of their garage trying to create some like brand new, I don't know, some invention or tech or something like that that's gonna, I don't know, like, whatever it is, whatever their idea is, it's so I loved it. And then I just grappled with like, what the fuck just happened? Like, who was that? What's going on? And when it was all over and started again, I was just, I don't know. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely had some cool. I'm glad you liked it.
Okay, thanks, guys. That's all for us.
All right. Yeah. Well, anyway, it had an interesting flow to it. And
okay, but it's not really for you necessarily.
It's not like I'm like aching to see it again. I'm not like, oh my God, I need to watch that again.
First night, hands down, I watched it. And once it was over, turned it right on and watched it again.
That is hilarious because that's literally what I did with The Fall.
Really?
I double watched it. The first time. I was like, I need to watch that one more time.
That's really cool. Yeah.
It's funny.
That's a good movie too. I don't know. I feel like we should like segment. We should do the primer first and then The Fall.
No, I know. I was just saying that's like, it's just funny because the movie I picked, I did the same exact thing with.
Yeah, because I almost just started going. Yeah, no, I almost just started going into The Fall.
Oh, yeah, don't. Yeah, no. I still have more to say about Primer. One thing, it had a $7,000 budget. I was like, what the fuck?
I know, right? $7,000.
Yeah, and apparently most of that he spent on film. And then also he like cut the whole thing himself and he did like the film. And apparently like something went wrong when he like tried to move it over to digital. Yeah. And so he had to like rework the audio to actually match the video.
Oh, really?
That was really funny.
Yeah, and very appropriate for this stream where my audio and video are out of sync.
Yeah.
How perfect. How serendipitous. Exactly. Yeah, I read, I was listening to an interview with him and it was like, yeah, $7,000 for principal photography, which is insanity. I mean, it's a relatively short movie. It's not even 90 minutes, but it feels like a, like a 90-minute film, like a full-length feature. And and then it was $30,000 to transfer it from like whatever they shot it on to 35 millimeter. That was the big cost that they had to sink.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But other than that, $7,000. I mean, the most expensive shot was the one, if you remember, like when when he basically kind of tells him it's a time machine when they're at their house and they kind of figure it out. And he's like, oh, the Weeble is dumb. The Weeble can't go in. But if something was smart, and he goes, you're talking about building a bigger one, like when they're at the house. And there's this one tracking shot that goes, whoop. It's a dolly shot and it like follows him around. It's like kind of dramatic. That's the most expensive shot of the whole movie.
That's funny.
And that's like that's where most of the production budget went. Yeah. But it's a really slickly made movie. Like it doesn't feel cheap at all.
No.
Like you use the shit out of it. $7,000. I don't know, man, for a feature, that's amazing. And it's his first thing he ever did. He wrote it, starred in it, directed it, and edited it all himself.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if it won Sundance, but I know that it definitely was a splash at Sundance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
saw that it made like 800,000 at the box office, but
it wasn't like. Too. I mean, could you imagine on that budget making $800,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it won. Yeah, like I think it. The grand jury prize, which is like one of the, I don't know, it's one of the prizes at Sundance. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Out the gate,
grand jury prize.
There at film festivals, sometimes there's like an audience award. you know, and it'll be like the audience's favorite film was this, and then there'll be like a jury of like, you know, judges, and that'll be their, you know, favorite, blah blah blah. So that might be what that means.
Okay.
I don't know.
People's choice type of thing.
Kind of thing. Yeah, grand jury might be like the actual people, like the judges.
Oh.
Here's a fun little fact. Now. The guy who plays the other guy, Abe, the blonde guy.
Yeah.
He's an acting teacher at my school.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I feel like I read when he went into it, he hadn't really had very much acting.
No, I mean, but that was like 15 years ago.
Right. Well, I know, but I just found that interesting. Wow, that's really funny though.
I know, and he's a great guy. What's that?
He's a good actor.
What did
you get taught by him?
Yes, I did. He's a terrific teacher. He's a great guy too. Nice. He's so cool. He's so chill. And I didn't realize it. Like he taught us and as like a substitute one day. And I was like, oh, that guy was really cool. Dave's a cool dude. Like, who, you know, and I was just in the office one day reading the brochure with all the different teachers on it. And I was like, David Sullivan, he's from Texas, and he worked ever since he started in the movie Primer. I was like, whoa, shit, he was in Primer. Like, it was like this, I couldn't believe it. Like, oh, God, I was like geeking out so hard. I was like, David,
you're so funny. You're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Something else that I kind of read that was cool that they threw in was something about Abe's last name. I forget what his last name was, honestly, like Turger or something like that.
I have no idea.
I'll have to look it up again.
I got it.
Look it up because it means because he's like feeling guilty about going back or like, you know, the whole time travel thing. So he wants to change it, remember? Yeah. And so apparently his last name means something like regretting to return or something like that. You'll have
really?
I'll have to look it up. Actually, I'll look it up.
I got it on IMDb right now.
Okay, I was gonna say that's where I read it.
But it just says Abe. It just like on IMDb it says Aaron, Abe, Rob, Phil, Kara. Like the only people with last names actually are Rachel Granger and Thomas Granger, who
he does have a last name though, and it's in one of the shots. There it is, Turger. It is Turger. And it's in one of the shots when he finds out that he has another space. Sorry, spoiler. Okay, anyway, he has another
16-year-old movie. We're talking it all the way through.
The other storage unit, you know? And Aaron finds out that Abe, and then it's right there on the paper and it says it, Turger. But yeah, it means regret going backwards.
Wow. In what language?
Sorry. Let me open that up. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it just means that. In like English? Does that mean that in English?
Let me double check. I don't know. It didn't give me the whole history. It just said that little snippet about his name.
But you said the word means regret going back. I'm like, well, what, where, when, why, who, how?
I don't know. I feel like they did their
research.
You
brought it up.
I know. What? I didn't research this. They gave me this info, and then I
Who's
just
they? What do you have, a production team?
IMDb. Yes, my production team.
My staff is all.
They get all my info for me.
Yeah, I can't.
That would be really cool.
Blame them. Blame my personal assistant.
Yeah. Her name is Stacy.
Stacy. Yeah. How old is Stacy?
What?
How old is Stacy?
She's 25.
25. Just about your age. Your personal assistant.
2 years younger than me.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to call you a liar. Not going to do that. That'd be rude.
Anyway, go on about whatever you were talking about.
I guess I'm trying to relate the experience of the film with you because it was something that like the first time I saw it, it was such an intense experience trying to like, who was the guy that knocked out, Shane's character, Aaron, and then it's like, who, like what was the whole, like trying to put it all in my head was so like confusing. So it's like, I think
the part that I was like most confused about, well, I guess for one, I kind of understood that there was multiples of them,
mm-hmm.
but it seemed like I didn't quite get that because it seemed like at certain points there were multiples and then there weren't, and then they were like killing. I thought they were killing their multiples, but then I realized they just knocked them out, and then
yeah,
no,
I like
that
that.
was
I like
like
when
a
you're
part that got
unsure.
like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that like is kind of, hey, buddy, Luke's joining. Hey, Chief.
Oh, Lukey.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
All right.
He's like, I didn't want to join that much.
Well, you know what?
He didn't like being on camera. He's camera shy.
He is camera shy. He's a camera shy kid. He always has been. See?
That's
every
so funny.
every stream I do, he makes a little appearance though. Stops in, says hi, leaves me with a bunch of cat hair.
Means they love you.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I'm trying to like, I'm like, because it almost sounds like you watched this movie and like you're like, I did my homework. And here it is, teacher. I watched it. Like, all right, I don't know what else to say then.
Well,
because it's like if you didn't have a strong reaction, there's nothing to say really.
Not that there's nothing to say. I just didn't have the confusion didn't really make me too like super interested in solving the problem. You know what I mean? I was kind of like, okay.
Oh, you were just like, confusing. I'm confused and I don't care.
Kinda, yeah. I was like, it didn't, for some reason, the way that they confused me didn't really make me want to figure that out. Some of it was almost a little too confusing that I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna. And like I said, like I still am kind of like, I don't really couldn't quite piece it all together. I did watch the little video on it that like made it a little bit more because
animations and stuff.
Yeah, they like mapped out the whole thing, and then I was like, okay, so I kind of get how there's the multiples, and I didn't, and like that they knocked them out, and like that's what happened with which I kind of understood that from the movie.
Yeah, you kind of understood, but you didn't. It's funny. I just rewatched it again today, and they do drop a lot of clues, a lot of hints, like about where things are and like when they are, and like they say things like what date it is and stuff like that. So it's like it is there, but it is confusing and dense and tough to like follow. I don't know. I liked that about it though. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes for like an interesting. You're kind of like, oh, like especially the last time when you realized that Aaron was the one that like went all the way back, and so he like screwed up the whole like redo. So that was pretty. You were like,
yeah.
Oh, wait,
and they dropped in those
no more redo.
Yeah, no more redo. And they dropped in those details, like I guess at the end, like her father or something like that, like figured out the time machine or something like that, and then he started using it. But they just glossed over that. They didn't really get into it.
Yeah, because they got into the fact that there was like two of him, and like one of him was like coma, and so you were kind of like, okay, like he kind of did it, but like you didn't know what exactly happened, like if he was using it or if he like literally just stumbled onto it. Like,
oh yeah, how did he find out, and like what were the repercussions of that? Yeah,
and why was the other one comatose?
I don't know. I don't know if they pulled him out of the machine or if they. Oh. I'm not sure. A lot of those details were kind of like, it was fuzzy, which I thought was a bold choice, but also like you said, it does risk being too confusing to the point where people are like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, and not like whatever, but like,
it's not necessarily something I want to work to figure out. Yeah, I get that.
And you kind of get to know the guys like a little bit, but it's not to the point where you're like, I want to know what happened with their lives. Like, where's the other one going? Like, why is he doing that? Like, what's going on? So, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I didn't get to know them. Okay. I wanted to get to know them.
Yeah.
And even with the party, like what happened with the party again? Like, did the shotgun...
Well, that's what I thought was so interesting about the concepts in Primer was it was kind of like you get this godlike power, you know what I mean? Because you can replay the day. Like, just think like if you just know everything that's going to happen in a day, like how much more like not everything, but like what you can accomplish, like how you can just play, like you play the stock market, so that's what I guess with the party they kept trying to get that guy arrested because I guess there's that girl Rachel, right?
Right, who's like dating Abe,
but kind of not really. She's just interested in Abe,
yeah.
So then I guess she has an ex, and then the ex came by and like terrorized everyone with a shotgun, and I guess Aaron wanted to kind of play like superhero. He like got high on the power. He's like, this is bullshit. We can stop it. Let's stop it.
Which that was confusing for me for a minute too, because I was like kept, I thinking that Abe and her were like more of the thing. And then Aaron was so gung ho about like going and taking care of this guy with the shotgun. And I was like, why is he so like gung ho about saving her? Like, that's kind of what I thought he was doing it. Cause like, oh, we need to save Rachel. And I was like, why are you so interested in that versus Abe? I'm confused, but
I think
I guess I got more towards that. Yeah, he was just like, I want to be the hero and that he gets to save the day kind of thing.
Yeah, so he liked it. He got off on it. He liked having the power. Like he said, he wanted to knock out that guy Platt or whatever, who I guess stole an idea from them, but they never really established that in the movie. That's like one of those details where it's like he could have gone out of his way a little bit more to explain just a few things, just to give us a little bit more insight. It didn't bother me at all because I loved it, but I could see like other audience members being like, what, why? I don't care. But I guess that was the thing, so it was like, I guess he wanted to knock out Platt for taking his idea. And then he wanted to exact justice on this guy who, was terrorizing people, and he could, because he had the power.
Yeah.
But then
I think that was definitely something like about the movie, like what you're saying, like he didn't stop to, he played it like it was like real life. Like it was just like you literally had a camera and you're walking through real life, and like real life doesn't stop and explain things, So I did I get that aspect of it, and I don't know if I enjoyed it, but at the same time, like I respected it. Yeah, but it did kind of make me be like, but wait, like we're not I just need 1 second to stop and not stop, but give me a little bit more of something.
Yeah,
in certain spots.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe that's what he intended. I don't know if anyone ever watched that movie for the first time through and then got it. I can't imagine that, that's a lot. But then I don't know. Is that a good goal to have for a film? You know what I mean? Come back and rewatch it. I don't know.
Maybe. I guess as long as the person wants to rewatch it.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. So let's talk about The Fall.
My favorite movie. Very different. So different. It's hilarious. For one, the budget was 30 million.
Which
30 million.
That they shot in 20 something countries over 4 years is
28.
Really that's not that much money. 30 million.
No, but it flopped in the box office, so that sucks.
How much did it make?
Let me check that. I don't remember. It was a lot less though. It was really bad. So really? It kind of sucks. But it was the director, Tarsem. It was kind of his baby.
Oh, I think project. I know what that sound is. I know what that sound is. That's you holding the phone next to the mic. It's interfering with I was wondering what that sound is. It's interfering with the microphone. I'll look it up.
Okay. Can you still hear it?
No, it's just when it's right next to it. Oh my God.
Just because I opened my phone?
It's like the radio signals or something like that interacts with the microphone.
Weird.
I think.
What did it make? Tell me.
Anyway, it made $3.7 million.
Yeah, that's real bad.
That's real bad. That's
Oof. I get it though. It's like a movie. So if you're trying to just go to the movie theater, I don't know. It's not really one of those.
But it's not hard to understand. It's not complex.
No, but it's a little bit slow. That's what for one, if I show anyone, that's what they always say, and I'm like, I get that. It's a little slow. And I think some people just the fact that there's two stories and you're definitely more invested in the story of like Roy and the little girl. So I think some people didn't care so much about the other story. I don't know. That was my
I don't
impression.
think so. I just think it probably just looked weird and people didn't take a chance on it. That's probably what it happened, because it does look weird. It looks artsy and like, meh, you know, like,
I literally,
yeah, I mean, that was my reaction. And I think he do The Cube or something like that. Didn't he do Cube with Jennifer Lopez before this? Right.
that sounds right. I don't remember.
I think he did. And that was not a very good movie.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, Tarsem Singh is the director. Man, it's a really magnificent film, especially that it flops so hard. That's really sad. Yeah, The Cell, that's what it's called, The Cell. And that movie sucked. It was really weird. It was a strange concept about like, you know what? Okay, actually, I don't know. Maybe I would like it a lot more now. What?
Yeah. No, when you said that, I remember seeing something about like they went over The Cell and kind of what it was about a little bit. So I kind of was just, I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it was the idea was that like I think he was a serial killer or something like that, and they had this way of like hacking into his mind, and so they would so the world was just this really strange looking world because it was all the inside of his mind. But then at one point she starts losing control, and he starts like winning or something like that. I saw it when it came out, so I barely remember it, but I just remember being like meh, like not really that impressed with it. So I think when The Fall came out, or whenever I saw The Fall, I was like, you know, I don't know, who cares? If this that guy that made that weak movie, The Cell,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't know, and like I don't even know if I would have seen it if it wasn't for you, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't for some kid I used to work with, who I think does cinematography now. Yeah, I think
really
like not like he's not like big movie, but he does some stuff.
Cool. The guy, the lead who plays the guy in the hospital, Lee Pace.
Lee Pace.
Yeah. Are you familiar with him?
Oh yeah, and this movie is the reason he got cast in The Hobbit.
No shit.
Peter Jackson saw him in this movie, and that's why he cast him as the Elf King.
He's like a big star who's like really
and I have a huge crush on him.
Yeah.
What? No, really kind of what though?
Kind of like under the radar.
Yeah. He was also in one of the like Avengers, like big ones. He's like one of the blue guys.
He's Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah.
There you go, that one.
He was the bad guy.
And he also was in this like, he was in this like little show called Pushing Daisies, where like anything he touched like died. Yeah.
That was a really beloved movie.
It got canceled.
Right? Yeah, but it was really beloved at the time, wasn't it?
For like, I think it was like a certain group of people like really loved it, but it got canceled because it really didn't actually have the views.
Yeah. I think it was just like one of those like cult favorites at the time that people just loved. I remember being like heartbroken when it got canceled, and that was like, I think before people could like bring back shows, when they would do campaigns to bring back shows, you know. I think it was prior to that, so it just kind of went. Everyone was like, "No, I like that show."
I know, I did. I liked that show. The funny thing too, actually, I think his co-star in that show, I'll have to double check, but I think she's in The Fall too, as like the lead. Let me see. Girl.
I'm looking at that. We have Anna Friel is her name. Friel, Friel. Is she in The Fall?
No, maybe she just looks like the other girl.
I don't think so. No, it does not appear she's in The Fall.
She just looks.
She does have a similar look, though. She has that kind of like upper crusty rich girl look.
Yeah.
Yeah, like perfect bone structure and really like regal looking.
Perfect. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. He was also in a show called Halt and Catch Fire that I enjoyed for like a season or two. But I also was under the impression that it was a true story when I was watching the first season, because it's about these two tech companies racing to invent cat hair all over my face. racing to invent the first portable computer. And I was like, oh, this is a really cool story. Like I was like enthralled with it. And then it was like I found out, oh no, that never happened. None of that was real at all. I was like, oh, well then why do it? Like
I feel like it was a good story.
Yeah, but
that's why
bullshit. Like you use like real companies, like they use like Texas Instruments and like IBM. So it felt like, oh, okay, this is the true story. It's like no, it's like, no thanks. And then it shifts like dramatically into the second season about being like a video game production company, and it's all girl power, and all the guys are like tyrants. I'm just like, all right, never mind, I'm done. But he was good in it anyway. It was the point.
Yeah,
Lee Pace.
Great.
He was great. So, all right, and just give me like a why you love this film, Linz. Why do you love it so much?
Well, for one, I mean, I think the most obvious is just how beautiful it is. I enjoy the imagery. I like that they took the idea of it's all from the little girl's imagination. The story is. So she pulls people from real life, like from her life, and she puts them in the story. And then also just like all the costumes, all the little things, like even when he's telling the story, he says something about the Indian and the squaw. And what she knew is her friend, the one in the green, he's like Indian from India. So that's what she put into the story. But what he meant was like Native American Indian. So it's just, to me, it was kind of fun. Like you listen to him talking and then you see, I mean, obviously not throughout the whole story when he's telling it, but sometimes when he's talking and he's telling the story and then the way she interprets it in her mind, I thought was really cool. And
the visuals are stunning.
They're gorgeous.
It's cool. And it's generally the type of stuff I don't like, where it's over the top costumey and really highly stylized and like silly.
Yeah.
But because it's like all taking place in her mind and it's this like this, you know, exotic story and everything is supposed to be exact, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is.
So everything is so.
But the funny thing is,
like, look at like just these.
Yeah, that too. The colors, they each have their own kind of like color and style, and they have their own little backstories.
And
one thing I love is, the character in red, his name is Darwin.
Yeah, and
he kind of plays the like smart like guy who likes bugs or whatever. But he has a monkey. He has a little
monkey friend. Yeah,
and his monkey's name is Wallace. And what a lot of people don't know is that Charles Darwin actually had like a partner named Wallace.
No way.
Something, I don't remember. And so they came up with the theory, or they figured out the whole evolution thing together. But then because Charles Darwin wrote like a paper about it, he got credited for it. And throughout the movie, Wallace, he'll like speak in his little monkey voice to Darwin. And then Darwin will be like, oh, we had an idea. I mean, I had an idea, you know, like stuff like that. Like that's kind of like, which like obviously the child didn't think of that, but that was like a more on that.
But that's like the Tesla Edison thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, like the scientist who's you know, the better scientist with all the ideas did all the work, and then, you know, one guy took all the credit.
One guy talked about, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a funny little thing.
That is clever. I just was remembering towards the end when everything starts falling apart, man, that story gets fucking tragic.
It does, but it's really interesting because one thing too, you start, especially towards the end, you start realizing that Roy is really just kind of telling his own story.
Right.
But in this story, and obviously with added things, like he's just coming up with stuff, but at the same time, it's still about Governor Odious, who is it's the movie star who he was the stunt double for, that he fell, which the whole movie, The Fall, he fell. And that was the whole thing. And then that guy, the movie star, stole his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So that was like,
shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, okay.
And he broke his back for it.
Yeah. What a
and then what?
selfish bitch.
I know.
What what was up with the nurse and the sex with the nurse?
Oh yeah, so okay, so that was more from the little girl, because that was like her nurse, and she cared for the nurse because she spent a lot of time with her, because that was who was watching her. So it was Nurse Evelyn. She really loved Nurse Evelyn, and in the story, she in her mind put Nurse Evelyn and Roy together. But that's not what, it was more like he was thinking of his ex-girlfriend, but she put Nurse Evelyn in there. So she kind of cast them in her own mind as this like love story. She wanted them to meet. But then really what happened, obviously, is like Nurse Evelyn is like banging the doctor, like in real lifetime. And then the little girl sees that.
Okay.
And she kind of like realizes like, what's Nurse Evelyn doing? She kind of takes it as like an offense, because she's like, you're supposed to be with Roy,
right?
Because that's what's going on in her mind, in her imagination. So that was
like Roy wasn't into the nurse at all. I mean, he thought he thought she was nice. Or
he never met her.
Right? He never even met her. Oh, okay.
No, like when they're telling that story, like he hasn't even met Nurse Evelyn. And even at one point, she's like, you have to meet Nurse, or I want her to come down, and she'll be like, I'll meet him sometime or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, they haven't met. So that's kind of another funny thing. Like I said, it's like all in the little girl's imagination. So she's like, and then also towards the end, when he's like, he wants to kill him. And that's the other thing people like, when you start realizing, is that he wants to kill himself. And he's actually just trying to trick this little girl into getting him drugs. And that's the only reason he's telling this story, which is another thing that's kind of like, he's kind of like, you think like, he's kind of being shitty, but like, he's just like in a really dark place. And then when the story takes that turn,
like the story just goes so dark, like
kills everyone, and then he's like trying to kill himself.
And the girl's like, stop it, and he won't stop. It's just like,
stop it. And then, but at the end, she's like, no, like this is my story too. You can't kill him. And then he listens, and so it's a lot about how she helped him through this like really dark time in his life too.
Yeah. I mean, it's moving. Like I was really emotional watching it. Like I don't remember if I was like the first time I watched it, if I was that emotional, but like this time I was like tearing up. I was like crying.
Yeah.
And then I just watched a video about it like a few hours ago, like just like the behind the scenes, which was really interesting. Oh no, it was someone like talking about the film, and I got emotional again. Like it's such a powerful story. Like when the girl's like laying there with the head injury, and he like is next to her, because like he basically gave her that head injury.
Yep.
It's like, it's so sad. And it's so tragic, and it's just like his, like somehow she knows he wants to kill himself. Like she's, I don't want you to die. Don't die. I don't want you to die. That girl, man.
Yeah, and like when she sees the body after he took all those pills that he thought were morphine, she sees the body coming out. She's like crying. She's like, Roy. Like she really thinks that's him.
Right.
And yeah, and then he got all mad because they were actually giving the other guy sugar, and that's what he took.
Yeah, he was great.
And she thought, because of some sort of miscommunication, she thought that the actor Lee Pace was actually paraplegic, and they decided to just like run with it for a while.
Oh, that was a miscommunication? I thought they kind of led her to believe that.
No, it was like, I think at first it was a miscommunication between like her casting person, and then I think after they kind of like realized she thought that, then they kind of ran with it and did it on purpose. And they actually tried to make the whole crew and cast think that he was paraplegic. And so then one time, like someone who thought that like walked into the room, and he was like standing up, like getting his makeup done or something like that, and they were like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Had he done a lot before that?
I don't remember. You'll have to check. I feel like Pushing Daisies was before that, so I'm not sure.
Keep your phone away from the mic. Not much at all. He did Infamous, The White Countess, a series called Wonder Falls, Soldier Girl, and an episode of Law and Order SVU. Infamous is a some sort of biopic. Oh, big cast though. Sigourney Weaver. What?
Dick Hitchcock was the.
There's the character. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver, Gwyneth Paltrow, Sandra Bullock, Peter Bogdanovich, Jeff Daniels, Daniel Craig. That's a huge cast. Jesus Christ. I've never heard about this movie. I guess it got something to do with Truman Capote. Oh, okay. That sounds kind of interesting, actually. But he's not even in the top like 10, 15 cast members. He's barely.
Looks like he dies.
The White Countess is another movie that he was in. Barely, like not in the top 20. Wonder Falls. So, okay, here he's kind of mentioned. This is a show I've never heard of. The Complete Viewer Collection. Jane, 24-year-old BA loner. Does that mean bachelor's of arts loner? Lives in a trailer park and sells souvenirs in Niagara Falls. Animal figurines, dolls speak to her to force her to manipulate, interact with people. Okay. I guess he was in that. Basically, point is, he was not very... Fucking bugs. Got him. The girl who plays in this show is adorable. What a cutie pie.
What's her name?
I don't know. I'm just looking at pictures.
Oh, I thought you were looking at the cast.
I am. Her name is Carolyn DeVarnis. Carolyn.
Never heard of her.
Me neither. She last thing she did was a show called Mary Kills People.
That actually sounds familiar.
Kind of on the nose. I guess she is the star of that show. I don't know. It does not look like a show I would watch. No. I mean, it was on for 2 years. She was the lead. She's quite pretty. I don't know. I don't know much about her, but yeah, no, he didn't do shit before this. Movie called Soldier's Girl. A true story of the price of a young soldier paid for falling in love with a transsexual nightclub performer.
Did he play the transsexual nightclub performer?
I hope so.
I know, right? He would be great at that. He's so pretty.
Wait, I think he did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet he did.
He's kind of, he's really skinny. Oh, he looked kind of silly looking when he was younger. He really matured into a man. When he was younger, he kind of looks like a goober.
How old was he?
Young. He looks like he's about 22.
That's cute.
So is he a transsexual dancer? Is that him? Can't tell. That's funny. He plays Calpurnia Adams. Yeah, Garen goddamn T. That's the dancer. Wow. That's interesting.
That is funny.
Lee Pace, Calpurnia. I wonder what it's like to encounter an actor of like that caliber early on in their career. I wonder what it feels like.
I mean, I guess you don't know until later.
Right, but I mean, I wonder if you're like, oh, I knew this person was amazing. Yeah, he definitely straight up plays a transsexual. Wow, that's interesting. He looks, he looks the part. Well, he's a tall drink of water too. That must looks pretty funny.
You mean he's tall or what?
No, he's a tall fella.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, how tall is he? Is he taller than you?
I don't know. Let's see.
Let's look up who's taller than Matt.
Yeah, 6'5". He's much taller than me. Yeah.
Oh shit! Really? Damn.
Like 3 inches taller than me. Yeah.
I did not know. Like, you never know how tall actors are because
no, it's true. You never do. That's a tall guy. Damn.
They trick you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, he's an interesting actor. He's like one of those guys who's just always been around, and I really didn't even take notice of until I watched *Halt and Catch Fire*. I'm like, who's this guy? And they're like, Lee Pace. I'm like, who? It's like, yeah, he's in Guardians of the Galaxies and all these things. I was like,
well, everyone's first thing is like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, yeah, it's a gigantic movie. I could see that though, because like if he plays a transsexual, like lead love interest in this movie, then that's a pretty big role. It's a TV movie. Wow. That's amazing. And then other than that, he just did Law and Order. So I guess that does make a little more sense that he would be like ready for this role. But still, I think that's a pretty big leap from like not being that well known. Anyway,
some people are just good actors.
Yeah, but that's not why people get cast.
Oh, why he got cast? Well, Tarsem was just like it didn't hit the box, like, you know, it wasn't like a really big movie as far as like he wasn't trying to just sell something, like he was making something.
No, for sure. I mean, beautiful. Obviously, yeah. There's nothing in there that screams commercial at all.
No.
But it's relatively simplistic. I mean, it's not.
It is.
It's not overly complex. It doesn't have any like grand themes or artistic ambitions that need to be understood on these big levels. Like it's a good story. It's a good movie that works on those two levels really well. And it's just one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. Like that sequence when they're with all those staircases, when they're all being chased. What the fuck is that?
That's a real place too.
Yeah. Where do you know where that
forget
is?
where. Yeah, they have a list. Go look it up. I don't know. They have a whole list of all the shots because of how crazy it was. 28 countries.
28?
28. Apparently in one shot though, there was like buses. They're like, that's not from the regular.
Oh, really? Like they couldn't, and there was no like, the CGI wasn't quite there yet.
He claims that he didn't use any CGI in this film, but apparently there are visual effects people
who disagree.
Credited? No, they're credited on the movie.
Oh well, visual effects is not CGI. It's not the same.
Right. That's what I was like thinking, but I was like, I don't know.
Well, I thought it was CGI in that staircase scene because of how many different like villainy guys there are.
No.
You know, like there's so many of those like dog soldier guys.
Oh, you thought that they would be fake?
Well, there's just so many. I mean, that's. I'm trying to find out. Like
a lot of people, or maybe it's like a lot of shots cut together. Like,
well, it's also like it's choreographed super well. You know what I mean? Like it's in such perfect sync. I mean that's a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of money. So it's like you could fix that really easy with some CGI. I'm trying to find that. I can't find it.
To look it up, like a list.
Yeah, I guess so.
I saw it somewhere.
I believe you.
I'll send it to you.
No, I believe you there. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, that was the first one that they showed. It is Mad Bahoan Palace. Okay, I don't know.
That one. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you know what? I was always like, just like a really, like it's like a quick shot, not quick, but kind of a quick shot in the movie that's also like, what the fuck? Is like the hanging, like dead bodies that have been flayed.
When was that?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like such a quick shot. It's like, shit, I don't even remember the exact what he's talking about. But it's like in that big, I think like where there was like the mayor. Yeah, like they got married, you know, like in the story. But either way, it just like goes up to a shot saying like Governor Odious like killed all these people. And then it was like literally like a chandelier of dead people and they were flayed.
Oh,
it was very, yeah, they were like all blood, like just basically, essentially they were supposed to be skinned. So they were all bloody looking, just like red, kind of gross.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it is an intense movie. I don't know if it's necessarily, you could say it's for kids, but I thought it was. I don't know. I think it's a great story. It's the girl.
I don't know if kids would understand it. They'd be like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, but that doesn't. I mean, I don't know. I think they would understand like the duality of the two stories. I don't know if they would get the deeper, you know, messages behind it, but that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Like cat hair, just like all over me.
You just need to like lint roll your face.
I do need to lint roll my face. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, do it. It'll work.
Do it. Yes.
Stickiness though.
Have you heard anything about the new Mulan movie?
Oh, just that everybody's mad about it. That's all I've heard. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It sounds terrible. I heard. I was
the
like,
movie sounds terrible, or
yeah, like terrible.
What do you mean?
Like it sounds like just the worst like adaptation. Like that it has absolutely like nothing resembling like the soul of the animated film whatsoever, and that it's like just this girl's just like she's just got all like superpowers and she's like super good and she's got like so much good stuff, and it's like all the fun of like the other of the original is gone, and like she doesn't have to like work for anything or earn anything. She just has all these great powers, and now she has like magic because she's like high with chi or something.
Oh god,
it sounds abominable. Yeah, it just seems like it's losing on every single
like I get
aspect.
that. Yeah, like the animated version wasn't necessarily like correct in all of its whatevers that everybody's getting mad about, like all the cultural stuff. But it was still like a really sweet movie, like, and I liked it. And like,
I wonder what would happen if people just ignored those correct culture people. Just like what would happen? Because it's like I don't think
know.
they have
I think
much
they're
power.
A majority right now.
Do you think they're a majority?
I think so. It seems like it. It sounds like it. They're very loud.
They're very loud. They're very, very loud. I don't think they're a majority. I mean, the only power they have is to just activate their little bots on Twitter, right? I mean, that's like we are mad at this thing. Like they're automatons. Automatons.
Right.
Automatons.
That sounds correct.
I think that's correct. Yeah, I just wonder if you just were
no, it's automaton.
Automaton. Actually, that's it. Automatons. Thank you, Lindsay. You crushed me.
Sorry, go on.
No, I just wonder what would happen if you just ignored them. They're just like, it doesn't represent women right. And they're like, okay. And then it just made money and didn't matter. Like,
I feel like we should do that with a lot of things. Cause like, I don't know. It's just like everyone has such a loud voice about like things. They'll say like, oh, women, blah, 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 need this and that and don't deserve. And I'm like, I don't feel that way as a woman. And I also don't feel like I've been brainwashed to feel that way. Like I just feel that way.
Right.
So like,
no, I agree.
I'm not mad about it.
You have internalized misogyny. That's what it is. You have internalized misogyny.
Yeah.
That's the most condescending thing I've ever heard in my life. It's like women need to be liberated. That I don't agree. Well, the only reason you can disagree with me is because you've been internally misogynized. Like you couldn't possibly be a free-thinking woman who has different ideas than me. So obviously you've been internally misogynized. Like that's the most condescending thing I've ever heard.
Misogyny is like women hating anyway. Like what does it encompass? Like why are we talking about this? Let's stop talking about this. Go back to Mulan. Let's go. Okay, because I love Mulan, the original.
I've never actually seen it.
What? Well, now it won't mean anything to you because it's a cartoon. And it's kind of about woman power. She gets to go to the army.
It sounds like it's a stupid woman power story. It sounds like an actual woman power story.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Although there are they have like the little like the dumb male characters where there's like the big fat one and then like the skinny stupid one and like the like whatever. And then they have her love interest who's like I had a crush on when I was a kid.
And doesn't he speak like I heard like the issues with it is that like he speaks with like a perfect like English Western accent or something like that. And then the other two guys have like Charlie Chan accents that are really like ho ho.
Oh, in the animation or in
the animation? No, in the animation.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you're talking about the new one. Yeah, I guess kind of a little bit. They do.
I don't know. That's just what I heard. That's one of the criticisms I heard that was leveled at the original, like the cultural insensitivities that are in it.
Yeah, I can see that because they make the more dashing character. He does have the English accent completely. English American, I guess. And then she has kind of like a lilt that you might think is like something, but it's like in her voice, like something that's not quite.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, so you kind of like hear something that sounds a little bit different, but she still speaks like, perfect English. And then, yeah, some of the more like characters you're supposed to laugh at do kind of have more of that like fake Chinese or like, whatever.
Stereotypical, like the stereotypical,
like yeah, pretty much.
of, yeah.
Just some sort of weird accent that people seem to think is like.
But this doesn't sound like they went out of their way to capture like the essence of Chinese culture and really represent it. It just sounds like a couple of fucking girls in Hollywood who are like, we're going to do it right. And by right, we mean girl power shit.
For the new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like the director and both the writers are all white women.
They should have been Asian women.
Well, these are the people obsessed with representation, and they're the ones who go nuts for it. And then they're like, well, I'll take it. It's like, wow, what? So it's fine for you to culturally appropriate and take positions, but it's like when white men do it, it's horrible. But you can do it all the time.
No, white women are terrible too.
I know.
All the damn Karens. And no, people are mad at white women too right now. Don't worry. Not as much as white men, but like they hate us too. It's all good. Now, literally, it's like white women can't speak for black women, so because they don't have the same. And I'm like, true, but like I didn't really understand the context, to be honest. But I was kind of like, okay, sorry, I didn't do anything.
I wonder if that's like the social justice thing. If like a lot of like people on Twitter, like white girls are jumping on like the cause and trying to like represent like the black experience and like BLM and all this stuff. And like, they're like with our fight too. And they're like, no, it fucking isn't.
Yeah. I think the thing that I was reading was like about like plus size women, and like this African-American woman wrote like a book about it. And she was like, yeah, because white women can't speak about like body issues with their white privilege.
Who's the arbiter of the rules and who can speak on what? Like,
I don't know.
Where is this Bible of laws that says who can speak on what things? It's like, fuck you. You can.
I mean, like we should all be allowed to speak on a lot of different issues without necessarily. Like, I'm the king of this issue and I own it and I know everything about it. Like, I don't think that's what anyone should be saying about anything.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
not.
I can say like I have this experience, and yes, it's different from your experience, because guess what? I think all of our experiences are extremely different.
Yeah.
Because we're different humans.
Yeah.
Like you could be one race but be really poor, or one race but be pretty like rich, and you're gonna have totally different experiences, even with the skin color difference. It's like,
and so I
don't know.
It's so dangerous when you get into a place where you're like, you can't talk on this. It's like, says fucking who? What makes you such a perfect expert? Like, that's like I don't want to get too dangerous a territory, but it's like this thing on race. It's like white people aren't supposed to speak on race. It's like, why? Like, I don't have any insights or a point of view or opinion. Like, you're just supposed to tell me how to think about it, and then I just take your word for it.
Yeah, what? And they're like asking us to support or something, like lend your voice, but then they're like, don't talk.
Only if I say exactly what you want me to say, then that's fine. But if I don't do that, then I need to shut up because I'm not supposed to speak on it. Like, what?
Anyway, back to Mulan and how this ties into Mulan. I'm interested. I will probably watch the new one just to see how much they messed it up. I'm curious. Apparently, like the original Mulan, like the original story, she actually like dressed as a soldier, and then she dueled her dad. And then
talk about fighting the patriarchy. Huh?
Yeah, no, but there's a reason, like, because he was Fa Mulan, and he was whatever his name was, Fa something, and but he was injured, and then they were trying to make him go back to war, and so she wanted to take his place. But in order to do that, in the original story, like not the cartoon version, like the very original one, she dueled her dad and she won. And then she revealed that it was her and said, okay, like I beat you. Can I go to war for you? And then her parents gave permission. So she did it right. I don't know.
Does that happen? That doesn't happen in the cartoon?
No, in the cartoon, she just like takes his armor, cuts her hair off, and like goes. And they're like, where'd Mulan go? She took my armor. Literally like that. And at least she has her lucky cricket.
Her lucky cricket?
She has a lucky cricket. It's pretty funny, actually. And Eddie Murphy voices a little lizard dragon.
Right.
It's like, I'm a dragon. It's like the funniest part of the movie.
Yeah, everyone likes that.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm sorry. Like, okay, I was like young when I was watching it.
I'm not saying you shouldn't like it. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to.
Everyone's gonna be mad though. Like, don't like it. It's Mulan. I don't know.
Who gives a shit? People's opinion is worthless. It's like it's the same people that loved The Force Awakens when it came out, and I was like online reading all this praise and like meme sites just like sucking its dick. I'm like, did you guys see the same piece of shit that I saw? Because I'm pretty sure that sucked. And they were like, "No, it's great. X-wings."
Yeah.
So when people think something, I could give a shit. I don't care what you think.
We should talk about some movies that were like we knew were terrible, but everybody loved. But
ooh, that's a great topic. Anything coming to mind except for The Force Awakens was the first thing I thought. Anything that comes to your mind?
Yeah, we thought of The Hobbit last time, but we talked about that already.
Yeah, but everyone that kind of came out to a weird.
So terrible. It was just like kind of terrible.
And it wasn't like it didn't come to like universal praise where everyone loved it and then it like flopped or whatever.
True. It had its critics for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was whatever. What was the one that I guess the 2015 Jurassic Park reboot people thought was great, but was apparently terrible. I don't know. I didn't see it, and I didn't have an opinion.
It was pretty terrible, but
yeah,
I just have I love dinosaur movies and shark movies and stuff like that. So is
that like a guilty pleasure?
Dinosaur movie? I own Jurassic World.
Really?
I do. But that was more of just because of not totally because it was partially just kind of like an old love because I also own all the Jurassic Park movies and it was kind of more of like a nostalgia type thing. But overall the story was like and it didn't have the same like cleverness and like everything as the first movie. And the raptors were really like you're like, yeah, you trained the raptors, sure. I doubt it. So that was like probably the dumbest part of the movie. Is
that the one where they wanted to use raptors in the military?
Yes, kind of. But they didn't because Chris Pratt's character, he's like the dinosaur wrangler guy. Yeah. And he trains all these raptors and they know him and they like listen to him and like he's like the alpha of the pack. And then they want to use these raptors because they've genetically modified the raptors also.
Sure. Of course.
They want to use them. Yeah, of course. They want to use them, for like army stuff. And so then they basically try to like take the raptors like from him. But of course they only listen to him. So it didn't work. Yeah,
that seems like it's a foolproof plan. Let's have these military raptors that only listen to one guy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that didn't work. And then they built they like genetically modified like a bigger, scarier dinosaur, and then it tore everything up. Like
the Indominus Rex.
The Indominus Rex, yes.
Yes. You describing it, I think, is infinitely more entertaining than the movie would be for me.
You didn't watch it. Guy. He's a cool guy. Yeah. What the best part is like the thing jumping out of the water. Oh, it was like Deep Blue Sea style when the shark jumps out of the water and like eats Samuel L. Jackson. It was like that, but like it just eats another dinosaur. It's like
that's one of the best scenes in movie history.
Yeah, like this. Oh, I love that movie. Oh my god, he has that giant monologue and it's just like, and they're like, oh my god.
That is the best. Like
that was like the best. I love that movie. Freaking is it Ice Cube? No, LL Cool J. I don't want to say Ice Cube. LL Cool J is in that. He lives. Yeah, he totally is. He's got like a parrot. It was the funniest. Oh my god, that's such a good movie. I don't care what anyone says about that.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the scene, but for some reason, like It is like the lowest possible. Like I can't believe how bad the quality is.
The quality.
It's
So
like
funny.
it's seriously like I don't know if it's because I'm using like the internet right now and this is the best that my computer can run. But honest to God, like the quality is seriously like barely visible. It's got to be because I'm streaming. It has to be.
Probably.
Because it is like I can't believe how unwatchable it is. Like it's terrible. Is that
too bad.
every
We'll have to
video?
go watch it once we're done with this.
Yeah, it must be.
Excuse me.
That's crazy. No, that is one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen because it was so unexpected. You are not ready for that at all.
No.
Like,
he's like being all scary. He's like, we can do this. It's okay. Yeah. We got this. And then they're all like, oh shit, we don't got this. What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, what was the other movie that came out?
Wait. I think I think I already told you that, but I didn't realize. I'm pretty sure it was the lead in Deep Blue Sea is the
Expanse?
guy.
It's Tom Jane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I just remembered that again, and I was like, wait, that blows my mind again.
I was just watching the episode. I did a stream last night where I watched the episode where he where they go to the hotel with Holden when they first meet, you know?
Yeah.
Awesome. So awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of the
that
best
was a really cool
episodes,
part. You're like, they met finally.
Yeah. That's such a great episode of that show. No, but I was thinking of another movie that came out around the same time as Deep Blue Sea, where there was like, God, what was the name of the movie? There was like some cruise ship, and then there was like some tentacle monster. No.
Oh, no.
No, there was like some tentacle monster, and it was like killing everyone. Like it was like a giant, like Leviathan type monster, but somehow was creeping around the halls of this cruise ship. And these guys had.
Or was it just like sticking its tentacles in?
Yeah. It really would.
Yeah.
What was that movie?
That's so ridiculous.
It was so ridiculous. It was like it came out around the same time as Deep Blue Sea. Like it was. God, I want to remember what it was called. Let me see. Sea monster movies, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
There's probably a lot.
Yeah, but hopefully it'll be
giant
shark versus.
Yeah. Is there a crocodile shark one? I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah, well, there was Lake Placid that came out. That was sort of a big one. I'm looking for like they're showing me all like the B movies, but what is the one that was like action movie? Okay, it's got to be here. Oh, it's not here. Gorgo. Oh my God, I used to watch Gorgo. You ever see Gorgo?
No.
You've never seen Gorgo, Lindsay? Why have you never seen Gorgo?
What is it?
It is just like a fucking like B, like it was a B movie, like even for the time. Like that's like an action figure.
Like that Godzilla?
Yeah, but it's like a bad Godzilla. It's like a budget Godzilla.
Yeah, that looks like terrible.
How much does that suck? That is so clearly just like an action figure. Like it's not even.
Okay, also, why is like Cersei? Oh no, Cersei in Sparta. Why is she there?
Gorgo of Sparta. Maybe that was her character. That was probably her character's name.
That's a terrible name.
That's a terrible name. Yeah, you're right. Gorgo.
Oh,
Gorgo.
She was way prettier in that movie though than she was in. What? What's happening?
I was saying how bad of a name that was, and I was making as if I was having sex with her.
Oh, I was like, ew.
To call her.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, like, Gorgo. Oh, Gorgo, you're so hot, Gorgo.
Did you see that movie though? You that movie is really good though. The
Gorgo. 300? I agree. Gorgo's genius.
No.
What were you talking about?
Cersei is in.
What, Dread?
Sparta. 300.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't see 300. Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I saw it in theater. I saw it when it came out. I don't know. I mean, it's not that good. It's kind of ridiculous.
Good.
You like it? Like when was the last time you saw 300?
I don't know. like 2 years ago.
Oh, thanks for bringing it up.
I made that up.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I was
want
gonna say when I saw it, but I like the movie.
I still want to find the Sea Monster movie. All right, I'm gonna put Sea Monster movie with miniguns, and I swear that might actually bring it up.
With miniguns?
Yeah.
Was it holding guns in its tentacles?
No, but they
Shooting
had.
people?
Was that at Deep Rising? That was it. It came up. It's Deep Rising. Deep Rising. Have you ever seen Deep Rising?
No, I still have not.
Oh, stupid. It came out around the same time as I remember. It came out, 98. It came out the year before Deep Blue Sea. And it was so dumb. It was such a dumb.
I was 5.
You were 5? Oh my God.
I was 5.
Yeah, like look at this monster.
So.
See this like tentacle monster?
Oh no, that's so bad.
But this the first
God.
half of the movie, the thing was like slowly like creeping around like this ship. Like what? Look how big it is.
The whole monster?
Yeah. Yeah, like you don't see him, but he's like slowly killing people like it's a haunted house movie, you know? Like it's so ridiculous.
What? How is he out of the water though?
Oh, because it was like a cruise ship and all these guys were robbing it or something like that. And they had like these really advanced, like small, like minigun things that were like water cooled. And I forgot like I don't remember why, but for some reason the monster got in the boat and then it fucked up all their plans. It was so dumb. Like it's just insanely
terrible.
Dumb. And like the lead guy was not even like a big actor at the time. And he's not like a leading man. Like, he's like a leading man for like bad TV. You know what I mean? Like he's not the type of guy where he'd be like, oh, let's bank on Treat Williams as to get our movie off the ground. Like he's not.
Treat?
Yeah. Like.
Treat is his name?
Like the movies that he's got, like the movies he's most known for are Hair, The Phantom, Deep Rising, and Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. Like he's not exactly a blockbuster guarantee, you know what I mean?
No.
Oh, this trailer looks interesting. What is this? This is Hair. Have you ever seen Hair?
I don't think so. I've seen Hairspray.
I've never seen Hair. I don't know what this is.
Let the sun shine in.
This army guy can't take it.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Why does it keep saying hair? What's with the hair?
I don't know. I'm really driving home that point.
Something about his hair?
I guess it's a musical. Oh, it's all the freaky deakies, and he can't handle it because he's from the army and he's a square.
I would be with them.
Who is that? Is that Sybil Shepherd? No. That's Beverly D'Angelo. Shit, I can't believe I pulled that out.
Wow. Super random.
Wow, this looks like something else, huh?
What is it? What is it about, though?
Hair, I think. It's all about hair. Not quite. I bet it's supposed to be about the 60s.
I'm like...
Look at see, here's Treat Williams. Look at his hair.
It's terrible. It's literally just a bunch of hair.
Oh my God.
You gotta have a bigger premise than hair, though. Like,
oh my
wait, was
God,
that?
It looks so terrible.
It looks awful.
It's so unbelievably douchey.
He looks familiar, though.
Yeah, I've seen him before. I can't think of where, but I've definitely seen him a lot. Oh my God, musicals suck.
Not all of them.
Enough of them. Enough of them suck.
Yeah, I can't think of.
Look at that ridiculous mane of hair he has. Oh my God.
Yeah, not down
Wow.
with hair in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know
or
about
80s.
hair.
Why did they do those things to their hair? Perms.
Got me, man. You know, but it's all like it's all of the time. You're always gonna look back on those things and be like, why are we doing that? You don't notice it at the time that it sucks.
Oh, I know, like over plucking eyebrows when
Yeah.
girls were young. Everyone talks about that. I'm like, I definitely have a couple pictures where it was like,
Yeah, plenty. So the
my mom
actor's
actually
name,
told me I was not allowed to anymore. The actor's name is what?
John Savage was the other actor that we're like, oh, I recognize him. He was in The Deer Hunter, which is that De Niro film about Vietnam.
Deer Hunter?
You never see The Deer Hunter?
No.
It's like a 70s, like one of those movies that everyone's like, oh, it's so great, such a masterpiece. These guys are in Vietnam and they get captured and they force them to do Russian roulette, and they go crazy and they break out. But one of the brothers like stays behind and is like becomes like addicted to playing Russian roulette. I think that's the plot of this story. I haven't seen it in so long.
Why is someone addicted to that?
Like the thrill, the rush. You're never gonna. It's like if you do, like a really extreme drug, and then you can never go back because you're never gonna get that kind of a high ever again.
Ooh, like Black Mirror. Did you see that show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember like the episode where the guy was like he was like the doctor, and he put that like device where you could feel the pain of the patient, so you could know
didn't see that
where
one.
they were.
I didn't get that far.
Okay, watch it.
Was that in the most recent season?
No, it was like the original season. Or wait, how many seasons are there? I forget. It all runs together.
So
just watch it.
What did he do? So he did what?
Well, now I can't now it's a spoiler.
No, because I saw everything except for the most recent season. So
pretty sure it wasn't in the most recent season though.
Okay,
oh wait, I think it goes backwards though, right? Did you watch it backwards?
No, I started in season 1 and I watched into. I just didn't watch like the Miley Cyrus season. This was the most recent one.
Yeah, the funny thing is like that was one episode. So
no, I mean I just know she's in it. I don't think she's. They don't. It's an anthology. Every single episode's a. Wait, no. So what happened? So the doctor.
Yeah, like they come up with this thing that they put it on your head, and then you feel the patient's pain, and it's basically like if a patient can't speak for some reason, like they're unconscious, you can now feel where they're having pain in their body. That was like the idea of it. But then he started to get. Yeah, you should go back and watch it then. I don't remember which episode it's called though.
It's got to be
because
I saw every single episode. I don't know why that one would just.
I'm almost positive it's not in the newest season.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Pretty sure you're wrong. All right.
But it was like then he became addicted to pain, and then like started doing like crazy shit.
Black Mirror, Dr. Payne. Addicted to Pain. Black Mirror's Sloan and science film. Maybe not. Maybe it was in a previous episode and I just never saw it because the article is from 2018. Yeah, I definitely never saw this episode. Huh. Yeah, I lost interest with that show. Whoa. Jesus Christ. I just found this YouTube video that says the most what the fuck moments from Black Mirror season 4. Oh yeah, I watched about half that season and I think I just bailed. I was like, never mind. Like they did the Star Trek episode or whatever, where that guy was like obsessed with like keeping everyone in his little simulation.
That was like a good episode though.
It's okay. It wasn't that good.
I liked it. That was the first one I watched.
Oh no, I started at the beginning. I went back to season 1. I mean, it was, I don't know. I thought it was like, I just didn't like it. I thought it was just being shitty to like nerds and people who love fandom and stuff. I thought it was being cruel to them. Like, oh, they just want to like control women. And it's like, I don't like this.
No, I think that the main idea of that episode was that he was just fucked up in the head. And he literally like caged these people in his little fantasy. Yeah. And it wasn't because he was a nerd or like a Star Trek. He just happened to have that specific like fantasy. And then he also was like a literal psychopath. Yeah,
no, I mean, obviously I understood that much. But, a lot of times when they do that, when they use those like archetypes as representation, there's a reason why they're doing it. There's something bigger they're saying. It's...
I mean, I think the idea that it was like in a game, you know what I mean? And they were trying to like redo something that's like really big.
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't get that he was, or that they were trying to make fun of that personally.
If you look at it all in context with what comes out, like in the whole like that year was like, what year was that? So that was like, that's like right in the thick of like the Ghostbusters bullshit and the Star Wars bullshit. Like this is when they're trying to take back fandom. This is like when there's like the girl power movement to like take back fandom and make it all about this type of shit and like change like who likes things and blah 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 and like get rid of the old and replace the new. And if you got this guy who's obsessed with the old Star Trek, he's like representative of like the old patriarchy that like oppresses women and wants them to just be in their place when they're supposed to be. And it's like you have to kind of understand their psychology and why they do things to know where it's all coming from. But if you really look into it, if you start to see it all in context, it's consistent. It's a message. It's an agenda. And it's
it
like
kind of sucks that it is, because I didn't get that from it. So
that's the point. It's supposed to slip it by. It's supposed to sneak through, but they're not as good at it as they think they are. And and you see that like that whole season of Black Mirror was all girl power, but it was terrible. Like it wasn't a good season. It was so depressing, and not like not in a good way. Like they had the one with I think the only episode that I thought was authentically like Black Mirror was they had that little robot dog that was like chasing her. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And it would like blow up, and like once it got killed, it sent those little tracker things into her or whatever. And then like all the other robot dogs would come find her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only one that felt like a Black Mirror episode. There's another one with like the helicopter parents where the mom like installs like that thing into like her daughter to like watch. That was just so bleak and brutal and ugh. I don't know. I didn't care.
But like at the same time, I guess like all of those weird things, like you didn't like the episode where what's it called? Black Museum or something like that. Yeah, Black Museum.
What was that one? I don't know if I got that far.
Basically like it's just this girl in the desert. She stops at this museum, and it was, I don't even remember what the museum was technically about, to be honest. Although they did have the it kind of tied in the I don't remember which episode it tied in, but whatever. It tied in one of the episodes with the teddy bear where they put a different consciousness into a teddy bear. Maybe it was just the same episode. I'm sorry. It was a long time ago.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the teddy bear and she goes to this museum, and they have like this serial killer like trapped there. Like his consciousness is trapped there, and then they keep torturing him. Or something. No, not serial killer. I don't remember. Like I said, it's been a long time. But either way, somehow the girl was like connected to him, I think. And so she like took him back, and she put the museum owner in that like box that was like the torture. Like their bodies died, but their brains were alive.
There's nothing wrong with that, but that's a little girl powery, because like you're not supposed to come out on top in a Black Mirror episode. Like you're not supposed to win. It's supposed to be there's supposed to be dark parables about the potential negativity of the way technology can go. It's not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be.
I mean, it was
disturbing. Well, but she wins, so it's like
it was disturbing. She kind of wins, but she's kind of creepy at the same time, because she also just killed someone and like.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I didn't see it. I could be wrong. I could be way off on this one. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I didn't see it, but I remember like the first few seasons, the first 3 seasons of Black Mirror, there were some weak moments, but for the most part, it made you think. Where you're like, motherfucker, like, wow, like what if that happens? Like the people you could record absolutely everything, and then when that guy like finds and he goes and does all that research, and it drives him fucking crazy, but he's right in the end, and it makes him like that is what I'm talking. Like that was really interesting. Like what are the repercussions of this type of a technology, or the one where they with John Hamm, where they try to like, where they're having like giving the guy advice on like who to fuck, and then it turns out that he goes home with the girl and she's a serial killer, and they all just sign off and he's dead. Like that was what that type of stuff is like. It's supposed to be like Twilight Zone. It's supposed to make you think and reflect like what culture could be, or technology getting out of hand. It's not just supposed to be disturbing. Like it's not supposed to do, like Bandersnatch was just disturbing. Like it was just like, wow, I feel terrible now. That didn't make me think. I don't feel reflective on society. I just feel horrible. Great, thanks. That's not what I got into Black Mirror for. It wasn't for like a horror movie kick. It was to think. It was like to have a more insightful view, like a cautious view of like limitless technology. You're not supposed to just be like, well, that was disturbing. Christ.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I got, you know, it's like, you see, it was like, I don't know. Certain people take control of franchises or something like that. Something happens where certain people get involved and then it takes in a different direction. And it's like, I'm good.
Yeah. Feel it. I feel it. That whole show though was pretty good.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it actually now that I'm thinking about it.
My favorite 2 episodes were the ones like right before it got picked up by net. Like one right before it changed tone was the ones with Bryce Dallas Howard with the social ratings. That was brilliant.
That one was such a good episode.
That was
like
episode.
It wasn't super dark, but it was like, oh my God, that's like almost what we already do now.
Right.
Like
totally.
Close.
It was such a precise critique on society. Like that's like that's
and
what's
they just are doing it like in real time. Like, just so you know, I'm actually rating you.
And she was
like,
trying
and it's similar
so
to like
hard
likes
to be. Yeah, and she was trying so hard to be like what she thought people wanted, and they all saw through it, and they're like, "No, boo." Like, not that I believe most of society is that insightful, but I understood that like when you feel like someone's being like all the things they're saying and doing are nice, but the energy under it is not nice. And I think like that was like her whole thing. She's just like so desperate to be approved and liked, and it's so phony and insincere. I loved it.
But she's also not as like she's more of a genuine person, to be honest, than a lot of the other people. That was another thing you get from it. It's like, oh, she's just so genuine. She can't fake it that well.
Yep,
but like
exactly.
other chicks, like the blonde one, well, also she had money. So that was like another
but
part
that
of
was
it.
That's perfect. That is a perfect mirror of society. It's like a lot of times genuine people like are outcasts. Like they're not liked by the mass, and I think because I don't know what it is, but the mass definitely they get this like they don't like seeing authentic people because it reminds them how inauthentic they are. So it's like, get rid of that authentic person so that we can all continue being fake in our little bubble. And it's like you saw like when she's on the car with the truck driver lady who's got like a 2.5, she's like, I'm just like whatever, just an outcast. And then everyone was like, and it was like, yes. That is a critique on society. That is insight. That's what this show should be doing. That's brilliant. And then it just goes. And then the other thing that was really good was the one with the bees. Do you remember the one with the bees?
Oh yeah. Sorry, like all of them. I have to like take a second. But yeah, I do. Yeah, that one was crazy.
Same thing. Social media. You know, like people just with this kind of sending shit off, and then it was.
People nowadays, like, let's cancel that person. Like, I bet if all those people had killer bees, they literally would send it after these people. They're like, cancel.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's just kill them.
Without a doubt. Absolutely.
And it's like you realize like that's murder. But I think that people could honestly do it when they're behind their computer screens.
Do you think people would? There would definitely be people that would do that to Trump. You know,
and oh my God, an instant.
Like they wouldn't even
feel totally righteous
they feel like they did the right thing.
But everyone knows at the same time, if they actually took like a knife and stabbed him in the back, like that's wrong. But they would do it through the computer.
In a heartbeat,
sure.
They wouldn't even think about it. It would not even be a thought.
It's such a crazy thought to think, though. Like that is a crazy thought. You're like,
that's what that show was so good because it showed a black mirror to society. It was a black mirror. It was like, you're ugly. This is your ugly side. You don't like to look at this, but here it is. This is the ugly part of you. And now they're just like, girls or something. I don't know. This is a show. It's like, oh, what the fuck is this? This is not Black Mirror. This is something completely different. Like there was that one where that woman, I guess like there was cameras in all the people, and then she murdered someone kind of because she like, I forgot what the whole thing was. She got busted cheating or something like that. And then she killed someone, and then she kept killing and killing and killing and killing. And then it got busted at the end. It was just like, ugh. That's just
because when everyone could record everything that was happening.
So she had to kill them so that they couldn't record her or something. And it was just so disturbing. It wasn't like that
out or whatever, right? Or something.
Yeah, and that just wasn't like that wasn't helpful. Because they ran over like a jogger or something like that, and then they buried the body, and then like
I thought that was the first season though.
No, that was like season 4, season 5. That was afterwards. And I remember just being like, this is nothing, like this is just disturbing. This is not an interesting insight on society. This is just like, oh God, horrible.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay, sorry, I know what you're talking about.
No,
yes. Yeah, and the baby. Doesn't she kill the baby?
Yes, and that was the thing. It was like, good God, how far does this have to go? Yeah. And then it was like there was a pet or something at the end. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
What does that teach us? Who is that helpful to? What like
that was terrible. That's true. That was super terrible. But another one though that was like really good. Oh my God, I just lost it. The one where she like wakes up in this like alternate reality and she doesn't know what's going on, and like people are running around like hurting each other or whatever.
Oh yeah, when they made the reality show. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Oh yeah, and then at the end they find out that she like was a criminal. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like her. She like they were all there to get her or something like that.
Yeah, and
yeah. That was pretty interesting.
And that's insane. I found it really interesting because it's too like they were like exacting like punishment upon her, but at the same time they like erased her memory of what had happened, what she did. So I'm like, how can someone feel like bad about something they don't remember?
Well, that was some of the things I think there were flaws in some of the premises in Black Mirror. I mean, they were still good, but they were just kind of like, that doesn't make any sense. It was like the one where like I think it was like the retribution that John Hamm's character gets, where he's like just blanked out to everyone, like no one can see him ever again, or he can't see anyone, or something like that. And I was like, that would just never happen. Like, I remember there was just a few like sentences where you're like, that's ridiculous. Like they were trying to like, there was one where they with this was a good episode, but still you're like, that would never happen. But it was like with all the soldiers, and they were like, they made like these certain people look like vampires and monsters, you know? Do you remember that episode? That was a good fucking episode. I should go back and watch that.
Oh, yeah. That's a good episode.
And there was like a genocide.
And they thought that these people were like, literal monsters, but it was just something that they saw. And then
in
like
order to make them but the thing that was stupid about it was like their failsafe was that we'll just show you on a loop all the innocent people you murdered. I'm like, what governing body passed this? Like, who were the Joint Chiefs of Staff who were like, and what we'll do is once they're done mass murdering all the people, if they defy us, we'll show them all the mass murder they did. It's like, what? That's never gonna. Who's the programmer? Who's like, great idea, boss. Like, come on, like how did that ever get through? It's a good idea, but like, come on, that's ridiculous. Yeah. And then, like,
I mean, the other one, like, I could see that happening because it kind of makes me think of The Purge, where like everyone can do all the bad things they want in one day, and then it's like over for another year.
It's such a dumb concept.
But I think about it, and at the same time, I'm like, I think a lot of people would take advantage of that. To be honest,
I think they would too, but it wouldn't create a utopia. It's not like I had sex with like. If I could have one day or 1 week where I could just have, infinite sex with all Victoria's Secret models all week, and that would be my whole thing. It's not like for the rest of the year I wouldn't need sex. That's not how it works. It's not like a fuel tank.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like if I have violent urges.
Honestly, I think that all the people would like want to do it more. They're like, oh wow, like I just did that. Now that was really fun. Like do it more.
It's such a dumb concept. It's like that's not how humans work. It's not like you get it out of my system.
people's brains, like if they're like, oh, I can do shit like all I want, or like the one that I felt was more like I could see people doing is that where they're like torturing her for fun basically, but she did something bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in their minds they're like, it's okay because she did something bad and now I get to be like do scary things and like hurt her.
Point.
Okay.
No, that's a terrific point.
Yeah.
There's this broadcaster I listen to all the time, Sam Roberts. He's on Jim and Sam on Sirius XM, and he's been saying that for years. Where it's like, all this anti-bullying. We're all supposed to not like bullying until we get the okay to bully someone. Once we get the okay to bully someone, then it all comes out. So it's like, it's not that we don't want to bully. We just don't want to get in trouble for bullying. We just don't want to be on like, the wrong side of it.
Yeah, we want to bully the right people.
Right. Yeah. We just want
the ones that are already we basically say you're the bully, so I'm gonna bully you now, and that's okay because you're the bully. Not me.
Exactly right.
And they don't actually, and it's like the stupid thing is, and the worst part of that is they don't actually really look into what did that person do, and they'll take it on hearsay, like, oh, I heard something about this person.
They don't see their own hypocrisy.
And that too.
That's the thing that drives me crazy.
Bad, but only to bad people. It's like you can't murder people just because you decided they were bad.
Like you're not the arbiter of shit like that. What's that?
So that's like Dexter.
Yeah,
serial killer who
stupid,
kills other
dumb concept. So stupid.
But at the same time, there are people that are like that fucked up in the head that they take things into their own hands and they feel righteous about it. They're like,
oh, totally.
I am the judgment. I think that's what everyone on the internet. They're the judges. I'm allowed to say that her dress is terrible and she's cute and he's canceled, and I'm allowed to say that because I'm on the internet.
Because I'm good, because I'm virtuous. Therefore, I get to decide who is not. Because I am virtuous.
Yes.
With no credentials to that. No way. Like, no, you don't have to re-up that virtueness. You're just always good. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this world? It's so weird. I guess, hypocrisy is something that just drives me crazy. It was just like, you're like, oh, really? Shut up. What? Yeah. It was totally fine when it was like on your side. Now that it's not on your side, now it's a bad thing. Oh, really? Boo.
Always.
Boo. Well, we have gotten way off topic.
It's true.
That's okay though. I had so much fun. That was more, that was fun. I think I realized when we were talking about Primer and then we switched to the fall, I was like, wow, it's tough to get anything out of Lindsey if she's not interested. She does not give a shit.
Well, how am I supposed to talk about it? I know things about it.
I don't know. I was just realizing, I was like, ooh, this Primer conversation is going nowhere. This is slow. Like,
you should have talked about it more, maybe.
No, it's fine. I'm not blaming you at all. I was just, I was uncomfortable too. And I was so distracted because of my stupid video, and I still am. It's driving me nuts. But I was like, I'm frustrated by that. And like, and this is going nowhere. I was like, oh no, this whole podcast is going to be a bust. We just started. And then,
I don't know. I didn't know what else to say about it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But just, as soon as we shifted to the fall, it was like, you opened up and like all this like conversation and excitement started coming out and this, that, and the other. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. So we'll just, that's how we'll have to do this like that. No, it's fine. It's not
your movie first because it's gonna be worse, and then do my movie.
I don't even know if we can do my movie anymore. I think we might just have to do your movie and just talk about it.
That's not cool. What are you talking about?
Well, it's been two shows in a row where it's like we did Wrath of Khan.
Come on, you picked Star Trek. Like, you didn't even really like that movie.
No, but I could have talked about it.
But what about it?
No, I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, that's my point. Is like you just kind of like
just pick a better movie.
But I thought Primer is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's a brilliant movie.
Have you seen Memento?
Yeah,
that reminds me of Primer a little bit.
I don't like
in the
it.
fact that it's like kind of
confusing. Yeah, but the difference between Primer and Memento is that Primer has like this really like taught like kind of science fiction time travel concept, and Memento is fucking stupid. Memento's just a dumb
I don't really
movie,
remember it.
overrated, and just gets all this praise. I have no idea why.
I don't remember it very well.
So dumb.
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, look,
Anyway.
it's an ambitious concept. Don't get me wrong. It's like, all due respect, it's ambitious and it's a clever idea, but it's just like at the end you're like, wait, why did I watch all that? And it's kind of cool because you have to work so hard to figure out, but then like he doesn't even kill the right guy, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not a fan of Chris Nolan, but I feel bad shitting on him because he's not like, to me, he's not like offensively bad. Like he doesn't do anything that like ruins things for me. You know, like I don't think those Batman movies are all that great, but them existing doesn't hurt me at all. Like it's not like he went into Star Wars and destroyed it. You know what I mean? Like certain people did. So it's like them sucking makes me mad. Him sucking is like, all right, I don't care. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Whatever. Although Dunkirk was a masterpiece, work of art, one of the greatest things I've ever seen. So he's cool. Cool in my book, Chris Nolan. I heard that new movie Tenet is shit. Have you heard anything about that?
That's all I've heard about it is that it's shit. It's like it's been going on for like it was like supposed to be released last year, right? Or something like that.
Well, this year, I think it was supposed to be this year, but COVID.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
No, I heard that it like got pushed back before COVID and then it got pushed back again because of COVID. Yeah, like that's what I thought I read, but anyway.
I hadn't heard that. You could be right. I don't know. This is my first. It's the first I'm hearing about it.
I literally have just heard that it's like super overrated and like it was supposed to be this big deal, but they just like failed somehow. I don't know. Don't know.
A secret agent embarks on a dangerous time-bending mission to prevent the start of World War III. Dun, 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 dun. Plot, casting, filming.
Oh, World War III. Never mind.
Marketing and release. Distributor originally wanted Tenet for July 17th, 2020. But due to COVID, it was 31st, then August 12th.
Oh, okay. So it just got
and
pushed
then
back.
I guess they just released it on the 26th in 70 countries. 70. Imagine orchestrating a release of a movie in 70 countries.
Is that not what they usually do?
It just seems like a lot to be, lot to be in charge of is what that. I was just like, the logistics of that.
Different people in every country.
It's not just one guy running from like India to like Pakistan to like Iraq with like different prints. Here's the movie. I gotta go. There's 68 other countries that need this. Oh, okay. I guess you're probably right.
Or they can just like mail the shit too.
Mail. I wonder if is it even mail? Does Nolan shoot on film?
I don't know.
Probably does.
I'm ready to go.
I don't care.
I'm not ready to go to bed actually, but my computer is gonna die because that's how this MacBook works. I can only have one thing plugged in at a time.
Oh God, that is so stupid. We miss Steve Jobs so much.
I know.
Come back to us, Steve. Get us rid of this fucking idiot who charges us way too much for like dumb innovations.
The watch is like just as much as the iPhone, and I just use it to find my iPhone.
I can't believe you have the watch. Why'd you get the watch? Did you buy it?
That's a funny story. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
Anyway, so my old phone got smashed by a wonderful person who I will not name. And so I went in to go get a new phone because I had insurance. I was like, cool, I'll just pay. But they were like, we want $275 for you to get the same phone that you already have. And you also owe around $275 on still. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to pay $300 to get this phone and then also pay $300 more to finish paying it off. And so, but the guy was like, hey, I could get you it for the same price if you actually just get a new phone number and get the watch, the iPhone, the new iPhone, and a car Wi-Fi thing right now. And I was like, okay. So I paid the same exact amount of money. I obviously owe more now on the phone because it's a new phone, but still I'm like, I don't want to get the same exact phone and still owe and pay $300 to get that phone and then still owe $300 on it. I was like, no. So I got that as like a bundle because I think it was just some sort of promotion they were doing. So the watch And actually, my phone bill went down after that. So I was like, yes.
That's all really interesting. I don't know that I'd go so far as to call that story funny, though. I didn't. Well, it really wasn't even necessarily amusing. It was just kind of the inner workings of a phone company.
If you had seen that day and what happened, I guess everything surrounding it was funny.
Well, that's on you to convey all those things to us, the audience, because we weren't there.
It was just too much information, though.
Why the fuck did you bring it up?
Well, because you asked why I got the watch, and there was a
You're like funny story, but I'm gonna leave out all the funny parts.
I guess it was more of a tragic funny. I don't know. There's a lot to that story. There's
Black
a lot
comedy.
more.
I get it.
A little bit. Yeah. But that's why I got the watch, is what I'm saying. It's just because it was actually cheaper than just getting my old phone.
Got it.
No, I had insurance.
And you don't like the watch. You think the watch is stupid.
No, I like the watch. I just think it's like not as like you don't use it as much as you think you're gonna use it. Yeah, like I mean you kind of do, but it's kind of more like if you don't want to pull your phone out for some reason. Like I usually am like reading my text messages on it at work. So there you go. Or like anywhere. Yeah, it's like really it's like an easy way to like, oh, you check your text messages without like pulling your phone out.
Yeah. Or if you're like planning a paper, if you're like go into the bank now, like that would be a, you know.
If you're doing what?
You're planning a caper, you know, it just feels like an old like Dick Tracy thing, like enter the bank.
You actually they do have like what's it called?
Does it have like little antennas that come off of it?
No, but it has like the walkie-talkie feature, so you turn it on and then you just press the button and talk to whoever else has a watch that you're like friends with.
And probably something you never use.
No, because I don't need it. That's the thing.
No one
unless we're like it's my sister and she's like in the other room and you're like, hey.
Like unless you're like in the field, like in combat, what do you need a fucking walkie-talkie for? Like it's like if I'm just like hanging out and I just get like a walkie-talkie, I think it would be really like jarring and unpleasant. I think it would be more like
yeah. We're running around. Oh, just like walkie me, like wherever you are, so you don't have to like call them or text them, but you still call or text because that's. Just
they tried that with that thing years ago. They had the chirp. They had that little chirp phone where like people would just chirp and you would just like walkie-talkie. It would be like a direct communication. It's like people used it for like 3 months and that was it.
But you're not gonna have that as like a separate item. Like, sure, put that on my phone.
No, it was on a phone. It was on a phone. It was.
Oh, I was like.
It was just
obviously when you said as its own. Yeah, it's just not really something that you use or need to use
at all. It never comes up. Everything like a phone call or a text message generally it's more formal. Like you choose to contact this person at a time to communicate with them. Just randomly just shooting them a walkie-talkie like a walkie-talkie.
Well, that's the thing too. I don't think that they can actually just randomly shoot you a walkie. Like it has to be on. So they can like ping you to like turn your walkie on and then they can talk to you, I think, or something like that.
It's like literally only good if you're like playing paintball with your friends or something like that's like the only reason that would come up.
There you go. You found a reason.
Yeah. I'll wear my $1,000 iPhone watch while I'm playing paintball where I got my hand up and it gets shattered.
No, it's really strong. And you get a case for it anyway, a cover. I don't, but the only other things I do use it for that I will say it's like pretty good is like it has like when you're doing your GPS, so it has your navigation. So it's like really super easy. You're like in the car, so you can just like look at it like
that could be helpful.
And it like ticks on your wrist, like it not like a vibrate, but kind of like when you're supposed to turn, it'll be like click, click, click.
Literally the only thing I would want it for is that thing where it has that alarm feature where it can be a silent alarm that just kind of like taps like while you sleep and it can just tap your wrist. Like a wake up in the morning alarm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you can do that because it'll be instead of like making a sound, which is really unpleasant, like getting like ticked awake like that. I could see that I would do that.
I don't know if that would wake me up though. I'll try it. I'll try it tonight. I'll tell you.
Yeah, give it a shot. Let me know.
I figure it out. I didn't know that was a thing.
I'm pretty sure it's a thing.
Okay, I'll check.
I don't know.
What was the other thing on it though? I just forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
I'm sure it was fascinating.
I'm sure. Oh,
I was hanging on your every word.
I know. I was trying to think of something about the watch. I swear there was something else. No, it's all good.
I don't know. But I guess we're going to have to stop there. We're approaching 2 hours.
Yeah. We're just like talking now.
That's okay. I think that's probably
What
pretty
is
interesting. I hope it's interesting. They'll let us know if it is. If not,
If you made it to the end,
yeah.
what are you doing with your life?
Congratulations.
I'm sorry.
You win an award. Lindsay, flash the people. That's the award.
Just kidding. I would never say anything like that. Just kidding.
You do it first.
Okay.
We'll see the reaction you get versus the reaction I get. No, that doesn't count. Everyone knows that doesn't count. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's end this up.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us. If you're still with us, you're fucking awesome. You're the best.
Hi and bye.
I'm Matt. That's Lindsay. You can please like the video and subscribe to my channel. That would be phenomenal. I would really appreciate if you do that, and comment. And you can go over to Lindsay's channel where she talks about kittens and microgreens.
That is not an existing thing. So
It will be though. Eventually.
More than 50 times and it might be a thing.
Ooh,
if you made it to the end of the episode, that's the only way it's gonna happen. 50 people make it to the end.
I'm gonna go pay people like $1 to like the video.
Don't.
No, Lindsay has not started a channel. I think that she should. Her 2 passions are kittens and microgreens, and
I think that's like sounds like we're just like a dumb white girl. Her passions are kittens.
It's true though. You are very passionate about kittens and microgreens.
Who isn't? They're adorable.
Honestly, you should really name your channel Kittens and Microgreens. No one else is going to be doing those 2 niches together. I mean, also think about the content. It writes itself. If you have kittens walking through fields of microgreens, I mean,
I actually literally have pictures of that, so don't even joke.
I'm not joking. I'm giving you content ideas for your channel, but Kittens and Microgreens. I don't
have any kittens currently or microgreens.
Well, you know someone who's got 75, although you probably shouldn't talk to him.
He actually got rid of all of them.
That's good. Oh, what about?
They're so cute.
What about Evie?
I'm gonna go see her tomorrow. Actually, we'll visit my kitty.
Cool.
And bring food for her.
I got offered a kitten last night.
Don't.
I know. I wanted it so bad.
Fuck you. If you're gonna take a cat, you're gonna take my cat.
No, I couldn't. Obviously.
Kitten.
I want her. I just can't. My roommate won't let me have another cat.
Hey, roommate. She's really cute.
I know. Tell her. But yeah, I don't know. All right. That was me. That was Lindsay. That was Matt and Lindsay. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great night. And
bye.
Peace out. Be well. Boy.